Welcome to Fan Counters. My name's Nick.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And you can join us on Facebook at our new Facebook group. It's Sharpie Nation, SHARPIE, just like the marker. Sharpie Nation on Facebook is our official fan group, and you can interact with us there. We're also on Twitter at Fan Counters Live, and of course you can email us, hello@fancounters.com. So Elizabeth, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing really well. I'm really sorry about the topic of today's show.
Yeah, I read it.
I don't get... Okay, I'm super excited for this movie to come out. And by the way, we're going to be talking today about the Posession of Hannah Grace. But I don't get why it's a month late. Like, I feel like it should have been released around Halloween instead of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but Thanksgiving is a much bigger movie.
Oh, so true.
Right, that's why it was released.
Well then, See, people in the industry, since I'm out of it now, know what they're doing, and that's why. So we're going to talk to the star of the film, Kirby Johnson, on the show today. But before Kirby calls in, you've had a day, and I'll just leave it at that. You've had a day.
I have. If you've ever read the Judith Viorst book, Alexandra the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, that's kind of the day I'm having. I woke up this morning with the 9-year-old in bed with me, and we have recently purchased new Fitbits that are to calculate our sleep and to try to help us get a better night's sleep and know what we need to be doing to get a night's sleep. This girl had me up so much all night long. My sleep on my Fitbit says did not record any sleep. I'm like, wait, what? No sleep? You were attached to my arm all night long. I didn't sleep at all, but I felt like I was up continually.
Why?
Because she wakes up, she's sound asleep. She does not do this on purpose. She wakes up, she's sound asleep, she sits up and she yells at you.
Oh, my.
She does it to Mark, too. But then she rolls over and goes back to sleep. Or she gets up and starts walking.
Oh, man.
And so then you're like, back to bed. Come on, lay down. And now if I'm awake, I'm up.
Right.
Like I'm awake and it takes me forever. And at one point I went up and used the bathroom and I did not shut the door tight. She woke up, looked at the door, which was kind of moving slightly from the heater inside of the bathroom, screamed at the top of her lungs that the bathroom door was possessed. I said, I just used the bathroom. And then she went back to sleep. And so when my alarm went off at 5:30 to get Oliver ready for school, she got up. She got up at 5:30 this morning, having not slept well overnight. Now, she does not get on the bus till 8:30. This girl has 3 hours to get her things done, right?
Yep.
Nope.
She can't do it.
She did not read this morning. She was not ready. She didn't finish her breakfast. She did like nothing. She wandered around like a zombie, crying about like not being able to make friends or not being able to do this. And I'm like, are you actually awake? Like, are you with us? So that was the start of my day.
Then continue?
Then I went to go get my driver's license for something, and my driver's license is gone. Gone.
Huh?
Yes.
Like from the system?
No, like from my purse.
Oh, well. Okay.
So I had been at Walmart having a escapade at Walmart yesterday. So I call the Walmart and she goes and puts me on hold for a good 10 minutes while they looked in every possible place. No driver's license. Lillian had therapy yesterday. I called them. They looked in all the boxes and all the places that we were. Nothing. So I do have to say kudos to the Wisconsin Department of Transportation because I Googled, lost my driver's license, now what do I do?
Yeah.
Because, in Wisconsin it is illegal to drive without an actual form of ID.
Right.
So I'm like, I've got to go to the studio. What do I do? I have to have a driver's license. So it was just literally a matter of clicks. And I had my old driver's license. Note to selves, don't throw that away, people, because you need your driver's license number. And if
some states take them.
And if you don't have it written down, you have no idea what your driver's license number is. True. And so I was like, I don't know what my driver's license number is. It's on my driver's license. Yeah. And so literally within a matter of clicks on the internet and a $14.24 payment, they will send me a new license within the next 10 business days. However, meanwhile, I get to drive around with a swell piece of paper that says I am legal and has a picture of my driver's license on it.
Does.
Yeah, so it is a 8.5 by 11 that is now crunched up in my phone as my driver's license for the next 10 days. And I thought, okay, you know what? You've made it through this crisis. You're a little bit behind. You got to get to the studio on time today. So let's just run to the grocery store, grab a couple of things. Nope, there's an accident right in front of the grocery store. It takes me what should have taken, literally, I live 4 minutes from the grocery store. It took 30 minutes to get in the parking lot. And we were trapped, and I was trapped so that I couldn't even turn around and go around the big block. So I'm literally doing the mad dash through the grocery store. Can't find everything I need. Check out. Need to run to the next grocery store. I literally tell myself,
what are you making?
15.
What do you have to have?
This is just like the normal stuff for the week, like milk, eggs,
what didn't they have that you had to have?
Well,
let's be real.
I have to have the sugar-free Hershey's chocolate. I'm not allowed to have the Hershey's syrup that's real anymore, and I couldn't find the sugar-free.
Okay.
So I run to the next store, couldn't find it, get home. Now I've got frozen food items and things like that I need to throw into the freezer and get to the studio. So I'm running around, and I slam my finger into the door and break a nail so low that I think I'm going to wet. It hurts so bad. So now I've got to cut my fingernail, file my fingernail, still trying to get in the car, got to get to the studio, get into the car, and then remember that I have Girl Scouts this afternoon. Get back out of the car, go get all my Girl Scout stuff, get back into the car. Get on the freeway only to see a big, huge sign that says the off-ramp for which I need to get off of to get back home will be closed today. So I need to come up with an alternate route. So it's 11 o'clock in the morning, and this is the crap that has happened today. And I'm sorry for the bad word, but I don't know what else to say. So I'm having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, and I am hoping that it gets better. But that was the driver's license was really what kind of, was the cake on the icing on the cake today.
I'm sorry, but the
right.
good part is that movie ends with a happy ending. So
yes, but now you're going to scare the crap out of me.
We are. On the show today, we've got an amazing and talented actress, and she knew what she wanted to do. She wanted to act since the age of 3. And without much opportunity in her local town of Key Largo, Florida, she turned to dance. After appearing on Dance Moms, this young woman is starring in her breakout role in a newly released film, The Posession of Hannah Grace. Kirby Johnson is our guest, and she stars as Hannah Grace in The Posession of Hannah Grace, which opened in theaters nationwide on November the 30th.
The movie centers around a woman who is working the graveyard shift in a morgue when she takes delivery of a young girl, Hannah Grace, who has passed in the midst of her exorcism. The haunting truth of her death begins to unravel just as the minds of those around her at the morgue.
Now, Kirby Johnson sounds super funny. I found on her Twitter, she has a small clip of her in these horror movies that she's done, because she's done a couple of them with very terrifying parts.
Okay.
And she goes, "Can't imagine why I don't have a boyfriend." So it's going to be really fun.
Yikes.
Kirby Johnson's this week's guest on Fan Counters.
Coming to you from nowhere near the entertainment capital of the world, this is Fan Counters with Nick and Elizabeth on the PodFix network.
There was this mob of people, and they're screaming my name.
Crazy fans.
Stop following me. Don't come around my house. If you do, the cops are going to be at yours.
If I'm having dinner with my wife, don't sit down at my table. Don't follow me into the bathroom.
Can I take a picture? We're going to... Oh, my God.
I think this guy wants to fight me. Ended up being a fan.
I'm the only one that's ever been on Sam Jackson and lived to tell about it.
Well, guess what? I have a big surprise for you.
That's why we call it Fan Counters.
I don't think you're going to last on the air very long.
Kirby Johnson, welcome to Fan Counters. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
You bet. Now, I am a horror fan. Elizabeth is not.
No.
So I will be seeing this movie, and I'm sure that Elizabeth won't mind one night of sleeplessness from talking to you. So we're going to give that a shot.
Well, let's hope she doesn't
thank
scare
you.
the bejesus out of me, but we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, that just the trailer alone scares the bejesus out of me, and it's me.
That has to be a little surreal to see yourself in, comatose death makeup.
Oh, absolutely. When the trailers and the posters first came out, I looked at it and I was like, wow, I am pretty gross. Yeah, it was definitely shocking to see, because I lived with it. I did the makeup every day, but to see it on screen or to see it, in the big caliber, it's like, ooh, you take a step back and you look at yourself covered in, blood and nastiness, and you think, like, ooh, that is unsettling.
See, that's why I'm out. I'm out.
She's out.
So we're talking about your role as Hannah in The Posession of Hannah Grace. It was released on November 30th. But before we talk more details about the movie, which I've got a bunch of questions, can you give us a little bit of background on you? I know that you started in Florida. So give us a little history of your journey from Florida to L.A.
I'm originally from Key Largo, Florida. It's a teeny tiny island. And I knew I wanted to be an actor from the age of 3. I was absolutely certain. I was like, I'm going to Hollywood. I'm going to be an actor my whole entire life. But, you know, being from a teeny tiny island, there's no acting opportunity there. So I started to dance. And I happened to have like a natural ability, you know, like with dancing. So throughout my whole childhood, you know, my high school life, I spent a lot of time in the dance studio. And that's the thing I think that a lot of people don't know. Like, a lot of people think that dance was something I always wanted to pursue professionally, but it never was. It was always just kind of a hobby for me. So after high school, I moved straight out to California, and definitely having a dance background helped because I had gained somewhat of like a following, you know, for competitions, you know, and I had a bit of a name in the dance world, which definitely has helped, especially with this movie, you know, because it's such a physical role. Having all of the dance ability really helped me get this role.
So you mentioned you've been dancing since you were very young. We did notice that you appeared on an episode of Dance Moms.
I actually started dancing kind of late for a dancer. I started at like 10 or 11, which is, you know, now late in the dance world. I don't know if you've seen any dancers at 10 now, but man, these girls are good.
Yes.
But, yeah, I actually did do an episode of Dance Moms. It's pretty funny. You know, it's just kind of stuff that all kind of like fell into place. You know, the dance world is actually very small. So once you're like in with the dance world, you're in with the dance world.
Did that happen coincidentally? And what was your role on the episode?
I mean, it's not a very big, you know, I don't count this as like a very big thing in my life. It was just like a one episode. I did an episode in Ohio, and you know, it's reality TV, so it's lighthearted, it's fun. It's like, oh, I was young, I was dancing, my mom was there. You know, we didn't have any major drama or story, huge nonsense happening. So
okay.
Now, The Posession of Hannah Grace is not your typical exorcism movie because it takes place after your character has died from a failed exorcism. So I'm assuming that it challenges what we think about death, right?
Yeah, it's, you know, that's what I think is really cool about this movie, because we've seen the exorcism movies where they, you know, it's the whole leading up and, you know, all like nonsense breaks loose. But this is really, you know, what happens after. And, you know, in the teaser, you keep hearing Shay Mitchell's voice saying, when you die, you die. But that's really what this movie is about. Like, it kind of asks the question, is that really what happens? You know, this is more so like what really does happen. And for, you know, Hannah Grace in this movie, when she doesn't just die, you know, she continues on, and it's a very cool story to watch unfold.
Now, are they selling this movie as based on a true story, or is this completely
No, they're not.
Okay. All right. Because I haven't seen it yet, but
I
will be.
That would be absolutely horrifying if they were.
Right.
Oh, my God. Again, I'm out. You acted with the amazing Shay Mitchell from Pretty Little Liars, and you mentioned in another interview that you hadn't ever seen an episode of the show. Do you regret not seeing her in acting or film, or was it easier for you to go in blind?
I think it was so easy, you know, to go in blind, because I didn't, you know, I'm very lucky because I wasn't, you know, the Pretty Little Liars, you know, what is it called? Like, super fan. Like, I've never seen an episode, but a lot of my friends from high school had. So they're like, Kirby, you're going to be in a movie with Shay Mitchell. And I'm like, yes, I am, you know, but I hadn't seen an episode, so I wasn't freaked out.
Right.
And it was a very physical role I had to do with Shay. So, you know, the first time I met her, I got on top of her and I was just like crawling all around her, you know, my face in her face. And I think that if I was a huge super fan, I would have been starstruck. I mean, Shay is a phenomenal actress. So it was very, like, I'm very glad that I got to work with her. And now that this is all over and I'm done shooting, I'm like, okay, great. Now I have to go back and watch the whole series of Pretty Little Liars now.
Have you started? Have you seen one yet?
She's so good. So now I want to see, her other work.
Have you started that yet? Have you seen one?
Oh, I have not. I have been very busy.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, you've got the movie coming out this week, which, well, to us is last week. But,
yes. Yeah, it's super exciting.
Now, you do some really crazy contortion moves with your body in the film. Did your ability to perform these moves creep out Shay or the rest of the cast and crew during filming?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone, it's not a normal thing to watch a young girl pop her shoulder out of her socket day after day, a million times a day. So everyone, and they never got used to it. Every time I did it, it was like, oh, like everyone would be grossed out. So,
and isn't that bad for your shoulder?
Funny. I'm not going to lie. When I was younger, I never felt a thing, but I'm getting a little older and I'm feeling a little creakier when I start doing it over and over again.
Okay. How did you first begin to realize that you had the ability to make these creepy body movements, like popping your shoulder in and out?
I mean, I wish I knew. I just knew from a young age, like, oh, my arm would just, spin and twist out of ways, like, and I didn't realize anything, like when you lean against something, my arm would just like pop out of its socket. And people would just like look at me like, ooh, that is nasty looking, but it's normal for me. Like, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to like try to pop my arm out. Sometimes it just pops out. I mean, it sounds pretty gross, but it's just normal.
Now, tell us a little bit about this audition. Was it an open call, or did your agent send you in specifically for this role?
I was sent in specifically for this role. So how it was, just like any audition, my manager submitted me with, my headshot, my resume, my reel, and they called me in. And I was sitting in the waiting room with, a few other girls that had the same, like, sort of build as me, and I went in, and the casting director pretty much asked, like, okay, we're going to have you, like, show emotion, pretty much cry, and do some weird arm movements. And I knew I was auditioning for a scary movie. And I am a huge scary movie fan, so I knew what they were looking for. And I was like, so I did what they asked, and then I was like, let me show you something. And I got on the floor, and I crawled all around, and I put my legs over my head, and I'm doing all this creepy stuff in this casting office. And afterwards, they were like, wow. Wow.
We didn't know we were looking for that, but look what we found.
Yeah. And I think when a lot of people say, like, because I have heard them speaking in the office, like, oh, we're looking for, some contortion work, but we're not really sure what type, or a lot of people don't really know what they're looking for when they ask for contortion work, because it can mean a ton of different things. Right. So I just kind of took a shot, and I was like, look what I can do.
That's great. And it worked.
And when you got
got me a job.
Well, when you got the call and you found out you had landed the role, do you remember where you were and how did you go out and celebrate?
Okay, so this is kind of funny. Like, immediately after I auditioned, I flew to a vacation with my parents, and it was kind of a long process. It wasn't like, oh, hi, you got the role. It was a lot of, like, I was out of town and they wanted to see me. I didn't have cell service, but you'd think it'd be some, like, grand, big, like, we got the job, hooray! But it wasn't. It was very kind of mellow. It's like, wow, like, this is all kind of unraveling. This is happening.
Wow.
We didn't really know. It was my first, like, big movie break, and I just kind of just, like, mellowed it all out. It feels so surreal still. It's like, oh, yes, I filmed a movie, and now it's coming out in theater. It's like, what?
Were you ever in fear that since you knew that they were calling and you had bad reception and all that they might just move on to somebody else?
Oh, absolutely. Of course. I think that's every actor's, biggest fear. It's like, okay, what if I don't get the job because of X, Y, or Z?
Right.
I'm out in the mountains and I'm like, great, they're going to give it to somebody because I can't answer my phone. Great, they're going to give it to somebody because I'm not there to go see them again. It was out of my control at that point. So I'm like, whatever happens, happens.
Good outlook. Very good. Now, I've heard that filming horror movies and watching them are two totally different things. Was it scary for you ever as an actress during the filming?
I mean, no. The scariest thing about filming was, pretty much looking at myself in the mirror after the makeup was all on.
Yeah.
It's, or the night shoots, not being able to sleep or the cold. But it's not like a eerie, spooky feeling. There's a ton of people around. You've got the lighting all over. I'm the one that's doing the jump scares out, So, no, yeah. It was a very fun set.
Did you film in a real morgue, or was that a soundstage?
We did not film in a real morgue. That was a set.
See, that would have made it creepy.
Wow. It looked so real.
It's all creepy. Sometimes things that we don't understand, such as the paranormal, are better left alone or undisturbed. So some people think that way about a Ouija board. Obviously, this is your breakout role. Did you ever have a hesitation that this paranormal subject matter, or is that just a superstition to think that way? Like, did it freak you out?
No way. I am so into all of this. I mean, in my drawer in Florida, I have a Ouija board. Like, I am the biggest horror fan. I love this stuff. I think it's fun. So I am very glad that I got to start, with such a big movie in such a creepy, way. I think it's really cool.
Now, I love the film The Conjuring, but I have to tell you, Kirby, I really can't watch that movie without thinking that I might actually unleash something into my house. In fact,
Oh my God.
I'm serious. I had second thoughts about buying the movie because I didn't want to invite any bad karma in my life.
The bad juju is
I'm
there.
telling you. So have you had any paranormal activity happen to you since filming? We must know.
I mean, not since filming, but I think everyone kind of has those moments at night, when you're like, what was that? You get those like weird, eerie feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't think Hannah Grace hasn't come home and creeped me out. So
I need to understand this. You would buy a movie that creeps you out and then you wouldn't watch it because you were afraid to watch it?
The Conjuring's sitting right across from us. So,
yeah, I am like the biggest horror person. I think they're so great. I think they're fun to watch. I'm like, gets your adrenaline going.
I agree.
Okie dokie, Smokey.
So when you're filming, do you get a sense that, this is going to be a big scare? Or do you not really get that feeling until the film's edited and there's music and that kind of thing? Do you know when those moments are?
Yeah, it's, because you have the script, so you see how it's written, and you can hope that it's going to go that way. So, there are some scenes, when we were filming, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a jump scare. This is going to be, this pop out or this or that. And you can just kind of hope that what you do is, good enough and will really give the audience that sort of fright factor.
Okay, so tell me your thoughts on demonic possession. We hear all the time that exorcism films are based on a true story, and obviously this one is not. But what do you think? Do you think they're real?
That is a pretty good question. You'd think I would give this a lot of thought, but I actually haven't. There's a lot of, I don't know. I actually don't know how I want to answer that. I'm going to go ahead and say, there's a lot of evidence, and people say, this stuff has happened based on a true story, and who am I to say it hasn't? So, sure, why not?
That's a good answer.
Okay.
We always kind of get our guests to give us a behind-the-scenes feel. So tell me what this was like for you. Obviously, it's your first big film role, theatrical release we're talking about. So once you sign these contracts and you walk onto the lot for the first time, what happens? What's that process like? Are you doing a table read? When do you go into wardrobe? What are the rehearsals like?
I think my situation is far different than a lot of first-time actors in a movie, because I spent majority of my time in the special effects trailer. I can't even tell you what my own trailer looked like. I was in that special effects trailer. I was the first person on set every day because I had to be in 4 hours of makeup. And then after we wrapped, I was in that special effects trailer again, scrubbing it off for 2 hours. So everyone's like, oh, what was it like behind the scenes? I'm like, I don't know. I was in that special effects trailer the whole time. So, I didn't really get to hang out or, do kind of like the normal movie set stuff because I was always, in the makeup touch-up chair, which is great. I absolutely loved my makeup artist, so I'm very thankful for them.
Like, do they spend a whole day blocking, though, and then put you in the scene, or are they blocking as they go?
How we did this was that we would kind of block as we went. So I would arrive, I would get all bloodied and nastied up, and they would have us come in, and just kind of give us like the rundown of the scene. And then it was cool because they kind of gave me like free reign of what I wanted to do. They're like, okay, do your thing, because it's hard to direct, like, if you don't know contortion work or you don't know what you want to do, they kind of let me do what I wanted to do. So they're like, okay, do your thing. So that was really cool.
What scene took the longest to film? Like, what was the longest day for you on set?
Oh, wow. Let's see. What scene took the longest for me to film? I think, what felt the longest to me are the scenes where I just had to lay there on the table and not blink. Let me tell you, I could beat anybody at a staring contest now. Because they're like, okay, action, don't blink, try not to breathe. I'm like, okay, great. So those felt like a million years long.
That has to be hard. It has to be hard because someone is telling you to do it. That's like a diet. Yeah. I don't need to eat that piece of cake until you tell me I'm on a diet and now I need to eat that piece of cake. I mean, if you tell me I don't need to blink, I didn't have to blink until you told me I wasn't allowed to, and now all of a sudden I have to blink.
Exactly it. Yes. I know exactly what you mean. I was like, okay, don't blink, don't blink, don't blink.
Oh, how hard. So there's a shot of Hannah Grace at the morgue where the body is naked. Do you have a stunt double for that shot, or is that you?
That is me. I was on that table. I was freezing cold. Everything you see. I do have a body. Like, it was a mold that I went to Canada, and Adrian Moreau, he made a body mold out of me. So sometimes you'll see the mold and sometimes you'll see me.
Okay.
But no, I was really on that table. I was really, cold and naked up there.
Do you get to take that body home?
Oh, I absolutely wish I could, but no, I don't have the body.
I
would put that thing right in my living room.
Right, I would just say, I totally stand that up in the corner of my living room.
Yeah, on the coffee table, wherever. Just put her all over.
Drive it along in the carpool lane. What are you going to tell me?
Yeah, see, there you go. You need that in L.A.
Now, I know that the film was released a week ago on November 30th, but give us an idea of how long the post-production took. So when did you wrap filming?
We actually finished filming in Boston, about 2 years ago?
Whoa, really?
Yeah. So it's been kind of a long process, but this last June, July, I went to Amsterdam to film the beginning scene of the movie, the exorcism scene. So, it was really cool to wrap filming and then, kind of jump back into this character again. So it's been a long process. And now to see, the Posession of Hannah Grace really come to life, it's very cool.
So you had like a year gap where you didn't have to do all the makeup and then you had to go back and do it all again?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
It was like 2 years, a 2-year gap, I think.
Oh, my gosh.
That's amazing to hear. That's why we ask these questions, because those are amazing statistics to understand.
So what did you think about the film once it was completely put together and you've had a chance to see it? Does it scare the bejesus out of you?
It's really hard because I wanted so badly to go in and watch it from an audience perspective. But I'm in there, I'm at the Sony studios, and I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, okay, I know I have a jump scare coming out. Okay, I know that Shay says this before this. Okay, I know that I'm going to do that, so I'm like watching it like I'm anticipating what's going to happen because I had the script, I lived it, I knew it. But it's, I wanted so badly to just not know, but I was watching it and judging it and it's so hard for an actor to watch themselves, and I never really understood that. But when I was sitting in there, I was like, wow, I can't watch this as an audience. I'm watching this like as a critic.
I can see that. Now, what did your mom and dad, and do you have siblings? Like, what did your family think?
Yes, I do. I have an older sister. My family thinks it's the coolest thing. It's like Harry Potter. You know how they're like, we have a wizard in the family. It's like, we have an actor in the family. You know, it's the most bizarre career, and it's so hard. This career is so hard. You know, it's a shot in the dark. Acting really is a shot in the dark. It's talent and a lot of luck. And I am so fortunate that my family is so supportive in my career choice. So, you know, to have this come out and to have, you know, my career and everything I've always wanted unravel, it's been really nice for them to see this happening for me.
Now, are they living in LA with you, or are they still in Florida?
They're still in Florida. They come back and forth. So my parents, my mother and dad, my father, they're out here right now, and they're here for, you know, the premiere and everything leading up to the movie. So it's really cool. I got to bring them to an interview with me the other day. So it's fun.
Now, you're no stranger to making creepy movies. In 2016, you starred in another dark film, 5150. Tell us a little bit about that.
I don't know why. I get, you know, all these creepy roles.
Well, the trailer for that one's especially creepy. The guy's got a hacksaw and, you know, bolt cutters as he's walking around. So I can only imagine what those were used for.
Yeah, it's so funny, you know, because my manager even says this. He's like, when I first signed you, I thought, okay, we got, like, you know, we have like a Disney Channel girl on our hands, you know, because I'm, you know, like, I'm blonde, I'm bubbly, I'm like, but, you know, I get all these creepy, like, dark murder, bloody, you know, auditions, and I don't know why.
All right, let's talk about something happy for a few minutes, please. As we looked on your Twitter, Kirby G_Johnson, we can tell you're a huge animal advocate. You posted a photo of yourself holding a very large, upset cat. Is that your cat?
Yes, that is my cat. She's very overweight. I try to keep her thin. She's a big fat house cat.
How much does she weigh?
Oh, God, almost 20 pounds. Am I going to be in trouble? Am I a bad mom?
That cat obviously needs to do some exercise.
Oh, he's well loved.
He's a big fatty.
Walk him around the block.
So what is the secret to how you got that picture? He's hissing, and you decided to also hiss, and you got the shot at the same time.
Yeah, I have no idea. That was just, you know, the luck of my mother taking the photo at the picture perfect moment.
That's amazing. That cat is so cute, though. He's like, I got to show you this photo when we get off the air, Elizabeth. She's holding this big, humongous cat, and it's just like hissing at her. It's great. It's good. Now, Kirby, do you talk to your cat?
Oh, that's like asking, you know, do you talk to your parents? Of course you have to talk to your cats.
Heck yeah.
It's like when nobody's here, I have full conversations with my animals. Oh. I'm like Eliza Doolittle.
Hey, look, I do that too. And I got to laugh because actually this morning I saw a cartoon on Facebook, and it's this guy, and he says, I saw a woman talking to her cat, and she acted like the cat actually understood what she said. I went home and told my dog, and we laughed so hard.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, you talk to your dog, you talk to your cat. It's okay.
Okay, so
you have to.
I talk to the dog, but my dog goes everywhere with me, so
yeah,
it's the best of my kids. I read that your guilty pleasure is watching Jersey Shores, but you don't feel any shame in admitting that. What do you love about that show?
I am so sick about Jersey Shore. I mean, it's like so nostalgic. It came out when I was in middle school, so I have been a Jersey Shore fan since I was, I don't know, like 12 years old, 13, 12. So I don't know why I love it so much. I really can't pinpoint it. I just think that they are just so out there. And now that they're doing like this reunion show, I am so in love. I'm like, wow. Yeah. I'm getting choked up talking about it. What's wrong with me? I'm obsessed with them.
Well, I got obsessed with Snooki and JWoww when they did their show on MTV. That was like a car accident you couldn't look away from.
I mean, these people, their comedic timing is great. I'm like, wow, where did they find these people?
Well, I almost wonder if they really were friends before that show started, or if that was a group put together, they let them hang out for a while, and then they decided to start filming.
I don't know. They can't be friends now. Or don't they all hate each other now?
I don't know.
Oh, Jersey Shore? No way. I'm the pro at this. I could tell you. They're filming still. They've got their reunion show going on. I am all for it. I'm here for it. I watch it all the time.
Okay.
There you go.
I have no appropriate response for that. Oh. It's a lot like let's talk about horror films. Oh. Oh.
Now, if you were given the chance, we're going to exclude Jersey Shore. What reality TV show would you want to have a recurring guest star role on?
Oh, geez. Is it bad to say I don't want to be on a reality TV
No, it's
show?
not bad.
No, that's the correct answer.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't want to do reality TV. That's definitely not where I'd like to go because you don't know. They twist your words around. No way, Jose. I don't want to be on that.
Look, it could include shows like Chopped on Food Network, where they give you a bunch of ingredients.
Okay. All right, let's see. I can make a cameo on... do they still do Cupcake Wars?
Yes.
I don't think my cupcakes would be very good, but, I was wildly obsessed with that show for a while.
All right, see, we're going to be an advocate to get you on one of these shows, so Cupcake Wars it is.
There we go. Get her on Cupcake Wars.
It's currently the Holiday Baking Championship.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, those shows are great. Oh, my goodness.
So the name of our show is Fan Counters, and we love to hear our guests tell us about their experience with fans. So tell us some of your favorite fan encounters.
It's really cool. Like, I will be walking around every once in a while, and even before this movie, came out or, really came to light, I've had a following on Instagram, so I've had people stop me like, hey, are you Kirby Johnson? And, it's really nice because a lot of my followers are, young girls because, they're from the dance world, and they'll ask to take a photo with me. And that's just so cool to me that people watch what I do online and they, admire it. And I just think that's really nice. And it's very heartwarming for it to have a stranger, want to take a photo with you. It's very strange and it's very kind. It's I can't even describe the feeling.
Have you had any strange encounters where you're just like, what was that all about?
I don't think I've had any strange encounters. Luckily they've all been very nice. Nothing weird has happened to me yet, knock on wood.
Okay. So getting to know you a little bit more, what restaurant can't you live without?
Oh, wow. What restaurant can't I live without? I don't know. I'm not I'm so boring. I am the type of girl that will go to the grocery store, buy a rotisserie chicken, and live off of that. I am an apple with peanut butter girl. I'm the most plain Jane eater. I don't think I have a specific restaurant that I'm I have to go to.
Is there anything?
Well, I'm going to stop you for just a second because Kirby, Elizabeth didn't see your picture ahead of time, so she just Googled you. And I'm only bringing this up because it's already on your Twitter or somebody posted it, but it brings up the dead Kirby Johnson.
Right, and I was like...
And she's like, is this her?
It says she's been dead since 1999. Who the hell are we talking to?
I know. Isn't that so weird? I don't know what that is. And it has my photo next to it.
Oh, is that your photo?
Who made this?
I asked Nick if that was you.
I didn't think it was. I
That's
thought it was...
me.
Well,
I don't know who made that. I don't know why that is there.
It says upcoming movies. It says on the upcoming movie that you are doing the Posession of Hannah Grace, but it also says that you are in the musical group The Wellingtons and that you are most definitely dead.
Yeah, it was like a running joke. My friends from high school screenshotted it, and they sent it to me, and they go, have you ever Googled yourself? Because you've been dead since 1999.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's weird, right? That's
it's totally weird.
Okay, but this is even more strange. When I just Googled because I just wanted to see a picture of you. It gives me Kirby G. Johnson and that you are at P.O. Box 455 Alpine, California.
That's not me. I don't know who that is.
All right, guys. So you have it here. You know that. Don't write that address.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have it here. That's not me. I guess we have some Kirby Johnsons out there, but, those aren't me. I'm not the one that died in 1999 either. I don't know who that is. And there's my picture is next to it. So
Poor
I don't
Kirby.
know. Pretty weird. I guess that's a little weird.
That is really weird.
I'm sorry. Right, I digressed. But tell me what you like to do in your free time.
I am probably the lamest millennial. I would rather hang out with my parents. I like to go for walks and feed the squirrels. I'm pretty I don't want to say boring, but I like to not relax, but hang out outside.
Yeah.
I walk everywhere. If I don't have to drive somewhere, I am not driving.
Okay.
I live in a place where I can walk everywhere. So when my friends are like, "Oh, come hang out with me," I'm like, "Just come to me. Just come to me. We can walk."
Kirby, in doing so many interviews, is there a question you wish you would be asked that no one's ever asked you before?
Wow. I think that I've been hit with a ton of questions. I think maybe, no, everyone is kind of asked them. The question I get asked all the time that I really just want to clarify, and everyone just kind of seems to think that horror is what I want to stay in. That's definitely not true. I'm an actor, so I'd like to do a wide range of things. So that's pretty much the question that I like being asked, or, that I would like to get clear is that horror is great, but that's
you can
not
do
where
more.
I want to stay.
Right.
So if you had a dream job, what would it be? A dream role?
If I had a dream role, wow, I would have liked to be, in the Black Swan. I would have liked to have Natalie Portman's role in the Black Swan. Yes, that is a little dark.
I was
going to
say,
I just said I don't want to stay in horror.
Isn't that a creepy film?
It is a creepy film, but it's not, horror.
Yeah.
It combines, ballet, which I would have loved to do, and that serious acting. It was so good. I'm a few years too late.
Okay.
I could totally see you in these Hallmark Christmas movies.
Oh my God, thank you.
No,
I
I'm
would
serious.
love to do a holiday movie.
Because you have a very fun personality. And
well, thank
those
you.
are the people, you would be the one who's looking for love, but is too busy, and then you fall in love with a coworker, and then something will happen in the last 5 minutes where he sees you talking to somebody else, and then you end up together anyway.
Yeah, and then
There
he
you
swoops
go.
you up, and there's, some Christmas caroling in there somewhere. It's great.
Exactly. So before we let you go, I've got just a couple more questions.
Okay.
They're holiday related. How do you celebrate the Christmas season?
I don't even have any specific traditions. It's kind of we just all hang out, my whole family. I am very close to my whole family. My parents, I call them by their first names. They're more so my friends. So it's not a rare occasion for us to all hang out. So really the holidays are just a normal time for us, but plus Christmas music or plus Christmas decorations.
Okay.
When did you start calling your parents by their first names? Recently?
I don't know. When I was probably 6 years old, maybe.
Really?
I call my dad Gordon, and I call my mom Ree or P because she likes Pee Wee Herman. So,
awesome.
We're not your typical family dynamic.
That's very fascinating. See, I bet that's something you've never told anybody before.
No. Nobody on an interview has ever asked me that. And it's so funny because I've had people come over and I'll be like, "Oh, hey, Gordon," talking to my father. And they're like, "Wait, is that your dad? Who is this man?" I'm like,
Right.
"That's my real dad."
That's funny.
That is. So as we get ready to enter the new year, do you have any resolutions?
Oof, to book some more acting jobs, to fill your screens.
Amen to that.
Yeah, that's what every actor wants, just to be continuously working, and that's all you can really hope for.
What about for you personally, though? Do you want to travel somewhere? Is there something you want to experience next year?
Of course, I would love, I don't think this will happen for me. Hopefully not, because hopefully I'll be busy filming, but I would like to get to Africa at some point. Nice. I will get there eventually.
Oh, that's
but,
cool.
Hopefully my schedule doesn't allow it because I'd like to be filming other things.
I hope for that, too. Do you have other projects coming up that you want to plug? Anything happening?
Not currently. I am, waiting for this movie to come out, back to the audition life. We're back on the grind.
Well,
it's slow season. Holiday time kind of shuts down in the industry.
Well, once this movie comes out, though, doesn't that at least give you some boost and get you some more phone calls?
Absolutely. Yeah, and it already has,
Okay.
Like with this movie coming out, it's been tremendously helpful because, you could get into rooms that maybe you weren't in before.
Before we end, where can we find you on social media?
You can follow my Instagram. It's just my name, Kirby, Kirby, and then _J as in the letter. And on Twitter, I believe you said it before, it is Kirby. Actually, what is my Twitter name? That's a pretty good question.
Oh, I did write it down before you.
It's not bad. I have to look. It's Kirby G _Johnson.
There you go.
Is it bad that I had to look?
No,
it's not bad. But we do like to get the official handles out there from you so that everybody knows all those fake accounts that people create are not you.
And she's not dead.
And she's not dead.
She's not dead. She's alive and well.
So call her for your next role.
Didn't we do a director of Hallmark movies?
Yeah, we did.
Do you have a Hallmark movie coming up? Put your girl Kirby Johnson in it.
All right.
Well, they film in the summer, so he's done for the season right now.
Well, good. Get me in there for the next
All right,
holiday
next year.
season.
They're going to be starting any time now.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. Kirby, this has been a pleasure. You are such an awesome...
Super fun.
Yeah. Awesome personality.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I love chatting with you guys.
It's really hard to believe that this lady on the other end of the phone is a possessed, demonic, contortioned, dead body. I can't go there, but...
Yeah, I get that a lot. I do. I get that a lot. And it's funny because when I was shooting, like I said, a lot of the time, a lot of the cast or the crew hadn't seen me out of makeup because I'd be the first to arrive and the last to leave. So when they would see me out of makeup, they're like, oh my God, she's cute.
Aw.
That is cute.
All right. Well, have a great success with this film. I hope it does awesome at the box office. I will go see it. And you should too. It's The Posession of Hannah Grace, opening in theaters November 30th. Thanks very much, Kirby.
Thank you so much.
Our thanks to Kirby Johnson for joining us on the show this week. Elizabeth, she is not dead.
Well, it doesn't help that she's playing a dead person in a movie. I'm just saying. But she was delightful as heck.
Yeah. So thanks, Kirby, for joining us this week. And now that movie opened last week, November the 30th, and it is called The Posession of Hannah Grace. You can go see it this holiday season at your local movie theater because it's everywhere. And that's pretty awesome.
I'm going to pass.
No, we can go.
No,
$5
snowball's
Tuesdays.
chance. Not a snowball's chance.
It's all fake. You heard her say it.
Doesn't matter.
I'm going to get her to go.
No, you're not. I saw Friday the 13th or one scary movie when I was a kid because all of my friends went to it. I am 50 years old and I will still have nightmares from it. I can tell you a scary show I watched as a child that still reoccurs in my dreams. There is no way I am going to a scary movie.
We'll see.
Nope.
All right, you can follow us online. Our fan group is called Sharpie Nation, just like the marker, SHARPIE Nation on Facebook. So put in a request to join that group, and we will approve you, and we will then be able to communicate directly with you, and all of our stuff will appear on your news feed because I learned pages on Facebook get lost everywhere, but if you're in a group, then you can see all of our stuff and talk to us.
Come on, join the Sharpie Nation.
Join Sharpie Nation. And you can follow us on Twitter at FanCountersLive. And you can also email us
at hello@fancounters.com.
That's going to do it for us this week. We have another awesome guest. They just keep coming.
We do have some good people coming down the pike.
Yes. So stay tuned next week. In fact, I'm going to tell you. Can I tell them?
Sure.
All right. Terry Fader is going to be here next week. He is the winner of Season 2 of America's Got Talent. He's been playing in Las Vegas ever since. In fact, he's the reason why the winner of America's Got Talent has a show in Las Vegas. He will be here next week. And also, you'll hear about my trip to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. That's all next week on Fan Counters.
We'll see you later, guys. Bye.
This was a podcast from the PodFix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.